Well, we think that that this ecosystem continues to change in terms of the content ecosystem, and the need for it to change is real. And so, what we're driven by is this idea of pluralistic content. And the only way you can actually have pluralistic viewpoints on media today is to not only certainly incentivize content creators to do it, which we do through monetization, but provide the analytics for the brands and agencies to validate it. I mean, now we're at a point, I mean, if you look at the 70s, only 12% of the US population was diverse. 42% as of the last census is diverse now in the US. And that number continues to grow. So we really need to rethink the way we are approaching content and making sure that all of these different groups, whether they're ethnic groups or just simply groups that have a different mindset, are represented in the content we have today. And that's really what we're driven by.
Now, for people who may not be familiar with Sabio and the different companies and different lines of business you're in, could you please tell us a bit more about what you do and how you work with publishers and advertisers?
Sure. So we start off primarily as a DSP. And from that DSP, we built our own in-house DSP, both managed and programmatic. And from that point, we built our own analytics and our own household graph of 110 million CTV homes, 300 million CTV devices. And so we've really been at this since 2017, building this household graph that really connects the dots. From that, we realized there was an opportunity to then start enabling content. And that really is what the purchase of, so Sabio is the DSP. App Science is our analytics platform that is solely focused in on analytics and insights. And now, as of April 1, we purchased Vidillion, which has, once again, the ability to enable content, provide ad insertion capabilities to that content, and really is already distributed, has reach into 126 countries in 5 different languages across the world. So we're the small company that's really one of the most complete end-to-end CTV OTT platforms from a AVOD perspective, advertising video on demand perspective in the space today.
And you recently reported that you had record revenues in the second quarter. They almost doubled from the prior year. And so you are growing with the CTV and OTT ad market. Looking ahead, what kinds of trends do you see as far as increases in viewership or other consumer behaviors that will drive your growth?
We're seeing really interesting, and we just released a report most recently from our App Science group. And that report was really focused in on multicultural audiences. And we feel like we know that there's an opportunity, not only growing the general market from consumer perspective. I mean, here's a quick stat. The biggest target audience today in the US, population-wise, is 18 to 49. The largest population in the US today is 18 to 49. Of that 18 to 49 group, it is the most diverse group in the history of this country. In fact, close to 50% of all of consumers who are under 18 are diverse. And so what we believe is our opportunity is not only appeal to the general market with new content and new opportunities, but certainly also appeal to those additional growing audiences. And that's where the unique opportunity of mobile data comes in, that a lot of those people are not represented effectively on panels. I certainly wasn't. And that's really the genesis of Sabio. I always forget to say that. Sabio means wiser experience. And when I started Sabio, it was to represent my view, to represent my interest and my likes, which wasn't being represented by the major media companies. And so that really is what we're driven by, this idea of pluralism in content, in media. And we think there's not only an opportunity for brands and agencies to benefit from that, but we believe there's a lot of great content creators out there that are ready to provide a new level of understanding and great content to the CTV OTT space.
And so how does mobile data inform streaming content and advertising, especially when you talk about ideas like this opportunity for pluralism?
It's a great question, and really what it does, it allows us to better understand consumer behavior. And when we talk about pluralism, it's not simply based off skin color. It is also a mindset. It is, likes and preferences, and that really is what we believe mobile data brings to the streaming space. It allows us to find content creators that potentially can produce great content, partner up with them, launch their apps. It allows us to monetize those apps and then provide the validation for brands and agencies of the effectiveness of that. And that's really what we're interested in doing as a company, is really not just simply talking about pluralism and diversity in content and thinking, but actually doing something about it.